Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back, let's continue.
Is almost forgotten. You'll never be confused. Let me tell you this nice, cute anecdote I heard. It's true. In the Himalayas, there was this very traditional non-dualistic monk. A Pandit came to him once with his new commentary on the Brahma Sutras and said, Swami, I have disproved, I have cut down your non-duality. I have cut down your non-duality. It's been disproved. I've cut down your non-duality in this commentary of mine, the book. And the Swami said, where? In this book, Swami. And what? And you have done what? I have cut down non-duality. And then the Swami said, in Hindi, he said, Ek baar dekhe, let me take a look, not at the book. He takes a look at what? At reality. And then he starts laughing. He says, he starts chuckling. He says, what, Swami? I don't see anything has been cut down. He sees the non-dual reality blazing forth as always. It's like saying, you are claiming that this table is made of wood. I have disproved it in this book that the table is made of wood. It's false. But just a minute, let me see. It's not disproven. Nothing has been disproved. It's here. It's as clear as that. How do I do? So how do I know? So if I see that I have the problem, that problem is an advanced problem of an advanced level. I'm doing all it takes, and I have got clarity. I have understood. I think I'm doing well, but still there are these red flags which come. Then the answer is the same old sadhana which we used to do, the japa of the Ishta mantra, the selfless service, devotional service of the Lord. And regular meditation, yoga meditation, morning and evening. The mind has to be purified. The heart has to be purified. That work should go on. Then when that has been done, buddhi is purified. Pranab Chaitanya ji made an interesting point. He said, we think that buddhi is here, intellect. That Advaita is a lot of thinking. But he says, all the scriptures, they talk about the intellect as the heart. And we have to do a little bit of juggling and say, yeah, what they mean is the intellect. But he says, no, what they mean is the heart. Because the heart is our most cherished convictions about ourselves and the world. What am I and what is all this? What I believe without no argument will shift it. It's my deeply held conviction. At that level, am I body? Or am I awareness? Am I body or am I awareness? Sometimes things are going well, especially if you are a monk in the Himalayas. Obviously you don't have too many desires. You are satisfied with a simple and austere life, leading a good life. So things will go generally well for you. The danger of that is until serious trouble comes, like a life-threatening disease, old age, disease, death comes, you will not be aware, where am I? What is my level? People who are in samsara have many more occasions of warnings. Always red lights and flashing is going on. Warnings. We choose to ignore it, but it's going on. All these upsets and annoyances and depressions and anger, all of this is going on. Dissatisfactions, those are signs. That should not happen. The solution is sadhana. Jnana yoga should be supplemented by karma, bhakti and dhyana. Thank you. It's a good question. I'll come back to you later. The next question.
This question is from Darshan. Since everything is in awareness and everything is just an experience in awareness, then why is it that for someone who wants to understand that one truth, i.e. awareness, we are told to follow the path of Dharma, told to restrict our desires, to meditate? So basically we are told to do one thing and not do the opposite of it. But both the things are just experiences in that one truth. So why is it that the truth can be understood only by practicing a certain experience when the truth is there in all experiences, or all experiences are there in that one truth?
Well, it's weird he says the desire to meditate. The thing is though is that you shouldn't desire to meditate. Desire is what's holding you back. You should just meditate. I mean, but I get what he's saying though. He like obviously, he's like, I feel like meditating, and in some sense that could be seen as desire as opposed to just meditating. When you say I want to meditate, that could potentially be seen as desire because the I obviously is seen as the ego. The truth is there in all experiences. Why is it only experienced in one? I have a feeling it's not necessarily that you only have to experience in one. It's just because it tends to be the most effective. It's kind of like what gets the most people to do something. That's essentially the most effective method. It's not to say that that's the only method. Perhaps that's what he'll say.
Good question. Look, what Darshan is asking is that ultimately Brahman is the only reality that there is. So in every experience, one should be able to experience Brahman. Upanishad also supports that. Upanishad says, Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. In every experience, if you realize Brahman, you will attain immortality. Everywhere, in everything, all of life is pervaded by that one supreme reality, existence, consciousness, bliss. But then Darshan asks, in that case, why ask me to practice dharma? Tell the truth. Be kind, be self-controlled. But if I'm telling lies and being indisciplined and I'm being selfish and cruel, that's also Brahman. Why shouldn't Brahman be available there? Why only in an ethical life? Why are we told to practice meditation? Why not scattered? Why shouldn't I spend my life being doing whatever comes to my mind? Why control my mind?
That is a nice question. I will say so. I wonder sorry, I like trying to answer this question just to see if my answer is similar to Swami's here. But I guess it's going to be kind of like, God, he's not wrong. How I would answer this is probably like this. It's like trying to go to sleep. Running around is not going to make you go to sleep. Laying down and closing your eyes and resting is going to make you go to sleep. But at the same time, let's hear what it has to say. Swami has to say.
Why not, just party all day long and that's Brahman? Why be disciplined? Why turn inwards? Why not be always extroverted? So why are we told to have a set of ethical and spiritual practices? Why not everything else? Everything else is also Brahman. Why these differences? The reason is this. Notice the language. You want to realize Brahman. In which case you are saying you do not realize Brahman right now. You say Brahman is in everything, but you don't see that in everything. You don't see Brahman behind the truth and behind the falsity, behind the controlled life and the uncontrolled life. You don't. You don't.
I guess what he's trying to say is the way to experience Brahman is this method. Other method clearly does not work. I kind of figured that, but at the same time, maybe because it hasn't been explored. What if, the other methods do work? It's just that no one has found a way yet.
If you did, you wouldn't even ask the question. So we are all seeking enlightenment. And if you are seeking something, then there must be a way to do it. There's a way not to do it, and there's a way to do it. So it is, yes, using the language of Maya. Sri Ramakrishna explained this as Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. It is true, everything is in the realm of Maya. Brahman is the reality, and everything is the manifestation of Brahman through Maya. So, yes, all this is a manifestation through Maya. But that Maya has two categories. One is called Vidya Maya, the Maya of knowledge, and the other one is Avidya Maya, the Maya of ignorance. What is the Maya of ignorance? Most of our lives. We'll be shocked to see what we have done most of our lives. I want to get rich and I want to have a party. All my life should be fun. All of this kind of seeking happiness in the world outside, seeking lasting fulfillment in things which do not last. This is Avidya Maya, ignorance. This identification with the body, which we take without any question at all. This is my reality. I am this body. Avidya Maya. Now, the more we catch, it's Brahman, it's Maya, and it's ultimately Brahman. But the more we catch hold of avidya Maya, the more we'll be involved in samsara and more will be deluded. The reality will not be clear. Though it is Brahman, it will not be clear to us at all. And we will suffer more and more and more. But then there's the other side to Maya, Vidya Maya, which is devotion, ethical life, selflessness, meditation, and spiritual philosophy, inquiry into who am I, what is all this. All of these spiritual paths, they are called Vidya Maya. They're also Maya. But after all, if only Brahman is there, as Darshan says, why then these practices? Yes, they are also Maya, that is true. But this Maya, Vidya Maya, will overcome the avidya Maya and will take you to the realization of the truth that it is all Brahman. One caution. We are not saying that truth and falsity are both Brahman. No, 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 no. From the perspective of the world, truth is truth, falsity is falsity. Falsity will involve us further and further in samsara, and we'll go further and further down in samsara, suffer more, be more limited, be more petty, and more subject to suffering, sorrow. And truth will liberate us. Both are in samsara, both are in Maya, but truth is truth, it will take you towards liberation, the falsity will take you towards sorrow. Why would this be so? Why not the other way around? Why not falsity will take me towards realization? Because what is the nature of Brahman? The nature of Brahman is Sat, existence, ultimate reality. How can I go towards ultimate reality if in this moment I am telling lies? In this moment I cannot hold on to my truth. How can I go towards the ultimate truth? So, truth, self-control, peace of mind, serenity, unselfishness, all of these things are very, very useful because they take us towards that realization. When we realize that we are Brahman and everything is Brahman, we will not realize that truth and falsity are both Brahman. No, no. In that case, Brahman alone is. When it manifests as truth and falsity, they are very different. Truth takes you that way and falsity takes you that way. When you realize Brahman, it's Brahman only. It is God only. It's no longer truth and falsity of our level. Remember, why I am harping on truth and falsity is truth is the way to God realization. Falsity is the way away from God realization. Sri Ramakrishna used to pray, "O Mother, here are your purity and impurity. Take them both and give me pure love. Here are your, there's action and inaction. Here is rituals and..." So whatever is there, he gives away and says, give me pure love for you. But he could not say, here is truth and falsity. Take them both and give me pure love. No, no, no. You cannot give away truth. If you give away truth, then where will you stand? Truth is connected to the very nature of Brahman, Sat. Okay. Then please raise your hand. Please come. And then the gentleman there next will go to you. Next. We'll take 2 questions. Tell us your name and ask the question.
Hello, good morning. I'm Jane. My question is the step of intuitively turning inwards,
Yes.
like that 10th person turning to the self. You've mentioned to understand it a bit more concretely. I'm wondering what other instances in which we already do this subconsciously or consciously in our daily life that you can maybe point us to.
So Jane is referring to the 10th man story, which I have used many times. It's a beautiful story where we are missing the most obvious thing, ourselves, and then we are noticing everything else. Now somebody said, but that's not true. Nobody forgets to count themselves. Oh, we do. We are always forgetting to count ourselves. All the time. The real self. Only the Advaitin knows this, or the enlightened one knows this. We are all forgetting to count ourselves. What we take to be the world, that's the world, not me. That's very clear. But when we come to the body, we think, I am the body. And the mind, and the intellect. I have no doubt at all, I am this person. But these are all objects. And what is beyond that, the real me, it's clearly present, but we continuously forget. That's why these Advaitic exercises are given. Stories like the 10th man is given. Try this. We'll do this two ways, and let's see if you can become, the object is to become aware of awareness. That we are awareness. Not the body, not the mind, awareness itself. So we'll do it in two ways. Usually when we look at something, I am looking through my eyes at this flower. Can you see the flower here? Some of you can see it. I am looking at this flower. But now let's do the other way around. Start from here. Start from here means pay attention to the flower. Look at the flower, pay attention to the flower, note the flower, give your attention there. Note that the flower is the scene. Flower is being seen. Is this true? Flower is being seen? What do you think? Yes, it's true. Now take your attention that the light is falling on the flower and the light is coming from there to my eyes. My attention is on the light, which I don't see, but my attention is there. Now my attention is on the light and the eyes, which are doing the seeing. Yeah. So the seeing is going on. Is this true or not? But my attention is not so much on the flower now. We are aware of the flower, but we are more aware of the seeing going on. Light coming from there to the eyes, the seeing is going on. And there from the eyes it goes to my mind. You can close your eyes now. I saw a flower and it's red, and I did this analysis the Swami taught me. I heard the words, I have understood it, I am doing the process. This is mind. This is mind. Is this going on now, this thinking? Yes. And that awareness in which the mind is doing its thinking, the eyes are doing the seeing, and the red flower is the seen, that awareness, in a sharp turn, become aware of awareness. Not the mind becoming aware of awareness, that will just think. The mind will keep on thinking only. Mind will try to understand. Don't try to understand. Don't try to think.
The way I understood this part, just in case it's confusing for anyone, is the sheer fact that you are outside of the flower and everything. Your mind is formulating this flower and thinking about the flower, thinking about the color of the flower, the shape of the flower. But what is becoming aware of the mind thinking about the color red, the mind thinking about the shape of the flower, the mind thinking about how far the flower away is? That is the awareness, where you're becoming aware of your mind thinking, talking, saying, speaking, this awareness. That's how I'm understanding this, and I hope I'm correct, which I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe he's trying to point out here. Again, it's just a different way of explaining, hopefully the same thing that Swami here is talking about. Is this? There's this thing that's aware of your mind thinking. There's this thing that's being aware of your mind thinking of the flower. There's this thing that's making awareness of what your mind is showing the flower, the distance of the flower away. You know.
Just see that all thinking, understanding is going on in awareness. All seeing with the eyes is going on in awareness. And open your eyes and see the flower. That it is going on in awareness. You're seeing it in awareness. Start from there, come back here. Flower is the scene. Light and eyes are doing the seeing. Then this is going on. Thinking is going on in the mind, in the background. It's processing. And that is being illumined by me, the awareness. It's an aware experience, a conscious experience, a living experience. That's what awareness does. And then flow out from awareness, illumine the mind, which is thinking, hearing the Swami, thinking. Then open the eyes. Instrument of knowledge has been deployed. I'm still aware. And then the flower is revealed. Go from the flower back to the consciousness, go from the consciousness or awareness back to the flower. Awareness, mind, eyes, flower. Flower, light and eyes, mind, awareness. Try it actually in experience. Just take seconds. Then notice one thing. It's not that there is a flower, there is some light, there is an eye, there are eyes, there is a mind, and there is one awareness. No. In awareness, mind is functioning. In awareness, I become aware of the body and the eyes and the light. In awareness, I become aware of the flower. The flower, with all its qualities, the light and the eyes and the mind, all are appearing and shining in awareness. Awareness is like the ground on which, the screen on which these are appearing. Shankaracharya says, mirror. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam. The universe is like a city seen in a mirror, but within yourself. Shankaracharya, in those days, they didn't have computer screens. So they are only mirrors. The mirror example is troublesome because there's actually something outside which is being reflected in the mirror. So he has to cancel that out. He says, imagine there's a big mirror and you focus it there, you can see the city, you can see Manhattan in the mirror. And then forget that there's an external Manhattan. Just see the mirror and the reflection in the mirror. The universe is like that. Just as there is a reflection in the mirror, the universe appears in you, the consciousness. You are the mirror. Consciousness, awareness is the mirror in which the universe is appearing. Mind is appearing, senses and body are appearing, the world is appearing. All activities, things, persons, everything is going on in that one mirror. Mirror of awareness. Notice further, a mirror example is fine. And this is from the Dakshinamurti Stotra. Notice further. Just think about the mirror and reflection. Wherever you see the reflection, there the mirror must be. Are you with me? You must follow these. At least the example must be clear. Then you can apply it as homework to consciousness and the universe. Mirror and the reflected city. That's the example. Consciousness and the universe. Consciousness, by consciousness I mean you, the real you. You and your universe. Mirror and reflected city. Now I'm saying wherever you see the reflected city in the mirror, there the mirror must be. If you see a building, there the mirror is. If you see a human being walking, there the mirror is. If you see the sky, a tree and the Central Park, there the mirror is. Wherever you experience the world, wherever you experience life, there you are. It's a no-brainer. It's a tautology. It's a triviality.
Let me try to explain it the way I understood it. I mean, he said it pretty simply. I don't think I can explain it too much different. Essentially, if you ever are experiencing anything, if you experience anything, it's always through the mirror. But you are the mirror. So that's about the best I can explain that, honestly. It's because it's kind of tough, I suppose, whenever you think of it logically, as in, because obviously when you see a mirror must reflect something. So there must be two objects. But obviously in Advaita Vedanta, there's no two objects, there's a single solitary object. Well, we say object, but you get what I'm trying to say. There's only one thing, and that is the mirror. And I think I understand what he's trying to say here, as in, because I mean, I was about to come back at him with about how how I'm observing the flower, the light's going into my eyes is translating that to my brain's decoding it into the flower, so that and then my consciousness is illuminating what I'm aware of. But the problem with that example is the sheer fact there's still the duality where there's this external object and then consciousness itself experiencing it. And this is what the example of the mirror is the sheer fact that our eyes are, in some sense, not really the mirror, the consciousness is the mirror, and everything else is the thing that's grabbing the information to put into the mirror. The object, the light, the eyes, the nerves to the brain, and the brain making it possible for consciousness, in a sense, to be aware of it. So... but he wants, essentially, in terms of that example, though, is that the consciousness is the mirror, so therefore there's no external object. Everything's experienced in the consciousness, I believe. This is kind of the really tough part to explain, because it just, obviously, how we experience the world is not based on, like, I'm trying to grab this freaking thing and it's just sliding all over the place. Like, obviously I have to touch this thing for me to experience it, so how can there not be this thing? And that's kind of like the hard thing to explain. So mind you, how I'm thinking about this is like, okay, explain it to a Westerner who has no idea about anything about any kind of Eastern philosophy. Then try to explain it to someone who who has some understanding of duality and non-duality, and but still struggles with the idea of that there is only one reality. Even with me, I have an understanding of it, but to how to make it make sense though is the hard part.
But we forget it. Wherever the world, universe appears, there you are. Because it's appearing in you. Whenever the world or the universe or life appears, then you are. This is called, the consciousness is not limited in time and space. Consciousness pervades the universe, consciousness is eternal. These are just ways of speaking. All it means is time, space, and everything happening and appearing in time and space are all appearing in consciousness. Notice one more thing. The reflection is not real. The mirror is real. When you look at the reflection, you see a building. Is there a building there, or it's just glass? It's glass. You see a human being in the mirror. What's there? If you go and will you shake the hands? No, you just touch glass. If there is water and earth and fire and space, nothing is there. It's just glass. Similarly, whenever you experience the universe, there is no universe there. There is only consciousness. Though it appears to be a universe. Whatever appears to be a universe, earth, sky, fire, water, human beings, plants, animals, sorrow, joy, happiness, life and death, it's only consciousness. Touch it and see. Like that, Swami, let me take a look. One more point. Whatever happens in the reflection does not affect the mirror. Suppose a building collapses, you see in the reflection. Will the mirror crack? No. Suppose a fire is reflected there. Will the mirror burn up? No. Suppose you reflect the central part there in the mirror. Will the mirror get wet? No. Why not? Because the reflection does not affect the mirror. Because the false appearance does not affect reality. Similarly, nothing in the universe will affect you, the consciousness. It will affect the body. And if you're not careful, it will affect the mind. You're centered in your consciousness nature, even the mind will not be affected. But body will continue to be affected. Nothing in life will affect you, the consciousness. You are not born with the birth of the body. You do not age with the aging of the body. You are not depressed with the depression of the mind. You are neither excited nor furious nor disappointed with the excitement, anger and disappointment of the mind. No. You are ever the same, ever shining consciousness. One final point. Same mirror and reflection example. The mirror, follow this, this is subtle. Mirror is non-dual with respect to the reflection. Which means, when you take the mirror and the reflection, there is only one thing there, really speaking. There is only the mirror. Are there buildings, birds, human beings, trees, cars in a mirror? Of course not. It's crazy. It can't be. What's there in a mirror? A mirror. It's a reflection. Yeah, it's an appearance, reflection. But there are no real buildings and cars and people in a mirror. Similarly, so there, if you count, how many will you count? If you count the mirror, there is only one thing. If you count people and buildings and trees, you'll count hundreds of things. But then when you realize it's a mirror and it's a reflection, there's only one thing. Mirror is non-dual with respect to the reflection. Consciousness is non-dual with respect to the universe. When you are experiencing life as awareness, how many are there? Millions, billions? No. One only. One without a second. Ekam eva dvitiyam, consciousness only. This is called Aham Brahmasmi experience. I am Brahman. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. I will say this. I do wonder why they didn't use the dream example back then. I mean, people dream back then, right? And that is such a very, very good example. Because with the dream example, there is only one. There's like, but it does make it seem like, Brahman is a god that's we're playing in a dream, we're in a lila, in a play of his dream or her dream or its dream or whatever dream. And And but in terms of at least understanding consciousness and reality within the dream itself makes perfect sense. I think a lot of people, even Westerners who have no idea about Eastern philosophy, can pick that up right quick, because you tell them, okay, when you're dreaming, is that many different people, or are all those people you? And the thing about it's like, oh yeah, it's all me, because it's in my dream, my brain, therefore all me. I just wonder why he didn't use that example. Instead, he used a mirror. I mean, I get like I wonder if he just wants an external example as opposed to internal in terms of the dream. Maybe the method back then as a mirror would be the better example as opposed to a dream. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's at least part 2 of the reaction. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up the sign down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.